Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope. I am Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. So if you're ever in our area, we invite you to come and worship with us every Sunday. Service begins at 10 a.m. We invite you to come and experience a better quality of life. And if you're not in our area, you can tune in for the Sunday sermon at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where we go live with the Sunday sermon at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And we want you to stay connected with us throughout the week through our internet radio station, WKAPfaith.com, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So tune in and be with us on our internet radio station, WKAPfaith.com. And lastly, just to share with everyone, we have our public charity, New Life Food Source Pantry. If you know someone that is dealing with food insecurities, have them contact us on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We will make certain that we provide them with instructions to receive food at our New Life Food Source Pantry. So I want to welcome everyone in, wherever you are across the U.S. and wherever you are around the globe. We thank you for tuning in to 3D, as always, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart and whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji Water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact, until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue supporting our broadcast on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com, NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, those of you that are now using the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, and those of you that are using Zelle on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We thank all of you for your commitment and for your support as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I want to say to all of you, some of you may have noticed there's been a change in our website, newlife-delaware.org. We are updating our website. We should be, by the end of the first quarter, have everything in place, because there's a lot of activity going on right now, a lot of responsibilities that have to be addressed. And so we will be working to complete our website. Really, by the first quarter, you will see the newlife-delaware.org website will be up. It is activated now, but you'll see some additional changes and some more things included as we continue to move forward, and it will be an ongoing process. So we're excited about all that is occurring. And from the communications that we received this past week, a little bit the week before also, I see everyone's excited about Valentine's Day, and some of you have been teasing me in your communications because you've been with us for a very long time, and we thank you for being with us. And some of you were teasing me about the fact that I'm not a big Valentine's Day guy, but some of you said that you've heard me say that some people call me cheap, and I say I'm fiscally responsible, but that's really the reality is that I understand global economics, and I understand that Valentine's Day was designed for a purpose. It was designed for, if you notice, everything is about red. It's designed to keep certain companies in the red. It's designed to get people to spend money. And we're going to talk about the psychological behavior that is dictated by business. And so the reality is that Valentine's Day really is it nice to love our loved ones? Absolutely. And can we do something nice for them? Sure you can. But the point is, don't get so consumed about it that it has a psychological impact on you. That if you're not involved in a relationship or you don't have what people consider to be a Valentine, that you should be depressed or you should be going through some type of psychological disruption because, or mental health issue because you don't perceive that someone loves you because you don't have a Valentine. That's not the case. The reality is Valentine's Day was created for a purpose. Now, sure, we can all love our loved ones. We can do something nice for them if you want to do something nice for them. But how about this? How about if we're just good to our loved ones all year long? We don't need a special day to demonstrate our love. But some of you want to talk about relationships today. And so I was going over this in production and realized that because many people have been talking about the coming Valentine's Day, and people were asking me was I going to do anything different for Valentine's Day this year? And the answer to that is no. I'm not going to get caught up in the commercial aspects of Valentine's Day or any other commercial holiday that's been created just to separate people from their money or to keep companies in the red. I'm going to support the businesses that I choose to support because it will enhance the quality of my life or the quality of my family or even the quality of the life of someone else. But the reality is I'm not going to get caught up in what's just a holiday that was created to say, I love you, because love feels good to everyone. But the good news is that God loved us so much he gave his only begotten son. He gave us Jesus to save us from our sins. That's the ultimate act of love when someone was willing to lay down their life for us. So having said that, I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers and I'm going to do this by beginning to say this. Many of you have been writing us about relationships. And because it's Valentine's Day was coming, one of our viewers wants to know, how do you know that he is really into you aside from the day? And here's what I'm going to say to you about that. When someone really loves you, they will not just focus on one day of the year. They will focus on being loving to you every single day. They will show you what love truly is by their presence in your life. And they will be willing to do things for you, not just to do them because you want something done, but they'll be willing to do things for you or that you need to have done. They'll be willing to do things for you that you don't want to do. So, that you don't really want to do. So I'm going to give you some really simple examples of that, okay? So, long ago, there was a question about, why do I pump my wife's gasoline? Why do I make certain that she never has to pump gas? And the answer to that is, it's not her job. Now, I understand that some of you will say, well, Pastor, that's outdated. It's not. No, it's love. It's, I love you enough that you don't have to pump gas. I love you enough that you don't have to take out the trash. I love you enough that I'll take your shoes to get, tips put on them, heel plates put on them, get them shined and polished. I love you enough that if there's something that you don't want to do, I will do. And that's when you know that someone's really into you aside from any given day of the year, is when they're willing to do things for you that you don't want to do, that you just don't desire to do. Now, on the other side of that is, I don't do a lot of things, and everyone who knows me knows that. I don't do a lot of things. Like, I don't cook. You know, jokingly, my wife told my father-in-law, God rest his soul, that when she was very young, that she was going to marry someone who would cook for her. Because he said to her, you need to learn how to cook. She was a child, she was young. My father-in-law told her, you're gonna need to know how to cook so that you can cook for your husband. She said, no, I'm gonna find someone who will cook for me. Now, the joke in our household is that didn't happen because I don't cook. But I don't expect her to pump her gas. I don't expect her to take her shoes to the cobbler. I don't expect her to take out the trash. Those are not her jobs. So the things that she doesn't want to do, I will do. And the things that I don't want to do, she will do. And that's how you make things, that's how you really understand that you love someone. You're not just in love with someone. You're not infatuated, you are committed. And so I will encourage everyone, first of all, don't get caught up in all the hype of this holiday, but let's just talk about how you know a man is really into you, even aside from the day. When he's willing to do for you what you don't want to do. You know, we live in a region, we just had heavy snow on Wednesday. And if you're in a relationship with someone or you're married to someone and you have a heavy snowstorm wherever you are, it shouldn't be your job to shovel the snow. And if you're in a relationship, ladies, let me help you out with something. If you're in a relationship with someone, if you get snowed in, he should come and shovel you out or send someone to shovel you out. Now, if he's not going to shovel you out himself, he'll call a company to come and shovel you out because that's his job. That's his love. That's how you know he's really into you. If you have to shovel yourself out, they're not into you. They like you. They might like hanging out with you. They may be even infatuated with you, but they're not giving you their love. That's what love really is. That's what a real man does. A real man loves you the way men love you. We take care of the responsibility of making certain that you're good at all times. Making certain that you have peace of mind. Because men really want peace of mind. And if we want peace of mind, we want you to have that also. We want you to feel what we're feeling. You see, it's not real complicated. Most women think that unless a man's whining you and dining you, he's not into you. Then you find out that was really just part of the exercise of dating. So you got to know that if a man really is into you, he's going to do everything within his power to make certain that you're good, that you are at peace of mind. He's going to listen, if a man's really into you and you're just in a relationship and you have two separate households, two separate residents, he'll schedule a day to come and gas up your car. He'll come to shovel you out when snow falls. He'll come to, if you own a home, he'll come and put your trash out when he puts his trash out, if they're on the scheduled days. And if they're not on the scheduled days, he'll put you on his schedule. That's when you know that someone's really into you. Because what he's searching for is a wife. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. I'm going to get ahead of myself. But here's the reality. He's trying to, and young people have a term they use, he's trying to wife you up. He's trying to turn you into wifey. Well, that's because that's what a man is searching for. If a man really wants stability in his life, he's searching for a wife. He's not searching for a girlfriend. He does not want you to be his girlfriend. He wants you to be prepared to be his wife. Ladies, I'm telling you, and I don't care if brothers don't like it when I say it. I don't care if men don't like it when I say it. But if a man's really into you, he will make certain that he schedules to gas up your car. He will make certain that your trash is taken out, your fireplace is cleaned out, that your car is washed and waxed. In other words, he'll take it and get it detailed. He'll do all of those things because that's what a man does. He'll make certain that you're good, that you're taken care of. That's a real relationship. The problem is people just want to date for sport. And dating was never designed for sport. It was designed to enter into a relationship and prepare to set a date. So you got to know that if a man is really into you, he will do everything to make your life comfortable. And he's not going to be running to and fro trying to do it for 12 women. He's going to find that one that he believes is prepared or being prepared to be a wife, and that's the one he's going to do everything for. The problem is our society is so messed up that we don't even realize that it's messed up. We just keep trying to do things our way, keep trying to do what we want to do, the way we want to do it, and we expect different results. That's the definition of insanity. Let's do better now that we know better. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you really want to know what men really want. And that's actually a good question. Because ladies, until you really know what men want, if you're only focused on what you want, relationships are never going to be successful. So it's important to us to know what both parties want. So first of all, let me say this, and I have said this before on the broadcast, but I'm going to say this again because I think it's real important for everyone to know. Men are nesters by nature. If you give a man comfort, cooperation, and peace, a man is not going anywhere. And he's no longer going to be searching. Because men look for those three things. They look for, and there may be a couple of other things. I mean, I know someone said in one of the communications, well, men say they want a baddie. Okay, we're all living these modern cultural experiences, but that's not really what men are looking for. Sure, we want someone who's appealing to the eye, but particularly to our own eye. I don't care what someone else thinks about my wife. I care what I think about her. Now, sure, men will look at her and say, she's attractive, she's naturally beautiful, but I don't really care what they think. Because she belongs to me. Now, some of you will say, well, Pastor, that's sexist, but it's reality. She carries my last name. And so, you got to know that when you give a man comfort, cooperation, and peace, he's not going anywhere. Men are nesters by nature. Go all the way back to prehistoric times and look at the caveman who wanted to dwell in his cave with his wife and create a family, have children. He would go out and hunt. He'd bring home the food. Wife would prepare it. The family would eat. You got to think about these things because they mean something. Men want to be able to nest, but they're only going to nest with the right woman. And so consequently, they're going to search and search and search and search until they find the one they're searching for. The point to that is that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. So he's still looking for the right one. And until he finds her, he's going to keep searching. But he's looking for someone that he can build a nest with. Think of the birds who, they build a nest, and then they have children, and then the children go out of the nest, and they go off and begin their own lives. And at the end of the day, we have to say to ourselves, all of these things work together for the good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose, because that was God's plan. And so we got to say to ourselves, we want the best quality of life. And if we want the best quality of life, then we have to recognize how important it is to find the right person that we can build a life with. So when you ask what do men really want in a relationship, we want comfort, cooperation, and peace. We want to be comfortable knowing that when we come home, we're going to have peace. We want to be comfortable knowing that when we come home, our spouse or significant other is going to cooperate with us. We want to know that when we come home and we enter into our home, there will be perfect peace. That's what men really want. And we want that so that we can build a nest and that we can nest with the one we love. That's just the bottom line. It doesn't get any better than that. And that's all men are searching for. And they're going to keep searching until they find the one woman who is prepared to be a wife. Because then he's found a wife and he's found a good thing and obtained favor of the Lord. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have no problem attracting men, however, the relationships never last. So let me begin by saying this. First of all, I'll go ahead and do this first. So the one common denominator is you. You got to remember, sure, you're an attractive woman, you're going to attract men. If there is one common denominator in every relationship that you have had, it's you. You've dated many men. I'm not talking about your body count. I'm just stating the fact. You've dated men, and every man that you've dated has eventually gone his own way. Whether you broke up with them or whether they broke up with you, doesn't matter. It only matters that it came to an end. And because it came to an end, the one common denominator, once again, is you. So you have to say, what is it that I'm doing wrong that is causing my relationships to come to an end? And that takes a lot of self-examination because You have to realize that you're doing something wrong. You have to be willing to accept that you're doing something wrong. You have to be willing to identify what the problem is. Is it my attitude? Is it my behavior? Is it my conduct? Is it my commitment? Is it my dedication, diligence? Is it that I really don't give off the right vibe? You've got to be really, really at a good place in your own life to be able to self-examine. Because most people don't want to take a look at themselves. Yet the Bible says, let a man examine himself. Let a man examine himself. That doesn't mean just males, mankind. Let us all examine ourselves. So self-awareness is not self-examination. Let me give you a medical example of that. You could be aware that you're not feeling well, but until you examine yourself or get someone to examine you, you're not going to know what the problem is. So, to self-examine ourselves, what that requires of us is to be willing to say, okay, first of all, let me look at my attitude. What type of attitude do I live my life within? Am I optimistic? Am I pessimistic? Am I someone who constantly has the wrong attitude? You got to ask yourself that question. Then what's my behavior like? Am I all over the place? You know, I like to use that term because in our society, people are all over the place. Everybody's running to and fro. They're moving around, trying to figure out where they want life to take them. Then when life doesn't take them where they want to go, they say life be happening. You know, all these modern day terms, life be lifing. The students talked about that today. Life doesn't happen to us all constantly. Life does happen to us all. So we have to examine ourselves. Is it my behavior? What behavior am I portraying? What behavior am I delivering that is causing these disruptions in my relationships? Do I have the right level of commitment, dedication? We like to say discipleship. Am I in the right relationship with the Lord? You know, you can know him, but he may not know you. Because we're not in the right relationship. We just know how to spell Jesus. But we're not in a relationship with him. We don't allow his word to become a living word in us. So we have to say to ourselves, what can we do better? And what am I willing to do better? What am I willing to do different? Do I dare to be different? And then we can really get to the place where we understand how you enter in relationships and relationships continue to come to an end. And then we can make the changes necessary to have successful and healthy relationships, or healthy and successful relationships. So I want to encourage everyone today. It's a day that many set aside to love. Let's try loving one another every day. Then we don't have to wait for one day to come up every year in the shortest month of the year to decide that we want to love someone. This segment of the broadcast today has been brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stopping at the retail stores, they have everything a man could possibly need, and The White Company, which is located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. You can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. Right now, The White Company for President's Day has 20% off. So go to ctshirts.com for Charles Tyrwhitt and The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. 3D, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A Taste of Paradise will be delivered